Speaking as one such person. Oh, this is a heavy one. I'm going to have a cup of tea for this. Speaking as one such person, you haven't had an integral part in the lives of so many people you've never met. I know. I really, really, really appreciate that. I'm 44 now. Found since I was 13. Your music literally changed my life. Your music did that. My music did that. It's accentuated here. Your music did that. How does it feel? Is it weird? And that's from Andrew 40. That's Andrew with about 6 W's. But that's hard to remember when you're fucking typing it in. Andrew 40. It's for a songwriter, it's the best thing in the whole world. You know, it's better than even writing music. To know that you've got music, you've been inspired to get something out of your system and you've just got it out and you've enjoyed the writing process, the recording process, working with people. As a songwriter, it's the best thing. It's the only thing, the only reason why we do this. For the music to connect with someone. It's all about connection. Everything is about connection, want to connect, having a community. You know, all of that stuff is that's the essential stuff in life. How does it feel when it connects with someone on a personal level? If I'm getting something out of myself with a song, and it's about a specific thing, and someone gets in touch with me and they're going through that specific thing, and the song has touched them, or the music's moved me in a way that it moves someone else, exactly. I don't care why people like my stuff. Just like it, and thank you so very much for allowing me to do this, to still do this after all these years. But when it connects with someone directly on a very personal and specific point, it makes you realize that you're not just a songwriter. You're providing a service. The service is beyond you. And when I'm writing songs, I've got a lot of songs now. I've got more than enough songs to call too many songs. My music, how does it feel when my music affects people? It's the reason why we do this as songwriters. You start out as a songwriter because it's a way of getting something out of your own system. It's a way of expressing yourself. And if you do connect, that's just extra. When you're doing it as long as I've done it, it's more of a service. You feel like you're connecting to something, and I know this is going to sound a bit woo-woo, but you feel like connecting to something higher than you. And that's where the music comes through. And I often feel guilty for taking credit for all the songs that I write. And I've got tons and tons of songs, and I only know a handful of chords. It's not like I'm a piano player. It's not like I'm a jazz guy. I've got very few variations of what I do. Someone said the other day, I've got 5 songs as opposed to AC/DC's 1 song. And I thought that was brilliant. But I just keep getting ideas. I don't get ideas when I'm sitting down playing the guitar. I get ideas when I'm walking. I get pretty much fully formed songs. And when I'm in tune or connected to something fundamental, like consciousness, a lot of people call it, then the language is music. Or at least the language I understand is music. I'm probably what they call a clairaudient now, which is like a clairvoyant, except you hear music all the time instead of, see and hear phantoms or whatever. I hear music not from my head. It doesn't always make a lot of sense to me. But what I don't do anymore is I don't act as a critic. I'm not gonna. If I get a song and it's kind of like, really, this is what you've got for me today. I'm not sure if I even like this one. I'm not ever going to challenge that anymore. And I'll tell you why. And you might have heard this story before, but this is why I don't act as a critic to my own stuff. And I put everything out, which is why I've got so many fucking albums. I was originally, when the Wild Hearts Must Be Destroyed No, it wasn't. It was Earth versus the Wildhearts was being recorded. And I had a song on there called Miles Away Girl. And I was following a credo as laid down by Frank Zappa and Steve Albini, which is no love songs. Now, Miles Away Girl is a love song written about my girlfriend at the time. And I was outvoted. I didn't want to put it in. I wanted to put something more vicious in there. And I was outvoted, and it went on. Cut to a few years later, and there was a girl whose name I forget. If you're out there, please make yourself known, who was in a coma. And they tried everything to get this girl out of the coma. They played her music. Her brother was going in there and talking to her. And the doctors had done everything they could do. Medical science had basically run out of ideas. And he went in there one day and he played the new Wildhearts album, because he was probably playing our albums all the time. And it got to Miles Away Girl, and she woke up and said, "Who's this?" Now, at that point, I realised this is not just music. This is not just me wanting everyone to cheer me name and for girls to take their clothes off. This is something fundamental. It's something important. And it's something that I'm more of a conduit to, as opposed to the originator, where, I get off on people using words like genius. It's got fuck all to do with that. I'm a very good catalyst to this stuff coming out and getting out there. And when music connects, it just feels like I'm still connected. I've still got a really good rapport, a good relationship with my consciousness. And so it's a great feeling, not just that the song's connected, but that I've connected through something more fundamental than even time and space. So to me, it's confirmation that there's something greater than just this, what we see. So it goes beyond someone liking my song, way beyond someone liking my song. It's that connection. It's that language that we're speaking to each other. We might never even meet. It might be somebody who doesn't even speak English. But that connection is sacred. It's paramount in everything that I do. It's all that really matters when it comes down to it. That connection. That's why I keep going on about doing this for the community. And I mean that completely, because I'm part of the community as well. This community helps people. It heals people. And I feel like I'm in service to that community. And my part of that service is to give you far too many fucking songs. There you go. And I don't even trust people who like them all, because it's weird, because there's so many different types of songs. But if you like one of my songs, let me know, because it's the best and only real feeling in this whole game. Is there a musical avenue you haven't taken with the Wildhearts yet that you feel compelled to do in the future? As you get older and wiser, this is a separate, I can actually put this into one question. As you get older and wiser, do you prefer the company of friends or time to yourself? This is Andy in Wicklow. Thank you, Andy. They're very good questions. Yes, to one of them, not to both of them. But yeah, as I get older and wiser, do I prefer the company of friends or time to myself? Time to myself. Absolutely time to myself. I like to get away from everyone. I'm not saying that I don't like people, but I like to get away from people. I like to get back with the sheep. I like to get back in with the gnarly trees and the waterfalls and the long walks, the cold weather, the hilltops, snow-covered moors. I like to get away to I live in the middle of nowhere. I live where the Yorkshire Dales meet the Yorkshire Moors. I live near a place called Tanhill, which is officially the most remote place in Britain. And I fucking love it. And the closer I get here and the further away I get from society when I'm driving back here, the more my shoulders dip down and the more relaxed I feel. And I just can't wait to be by myself again. When I first moved to the countryside, one of the things that I moved for was because I was terrified of being by myself. I was terrified of having to deal with everything on my own. And I knew it was irrational. I knew it was something I was going to have to work on, and it wasn't going to be pleasant. So I moved to the middle of nowhere so I could start work on stuff like that. And it works so well for me. And you've got to take your healing to where you feel comfortable. Some people like being in the countryside. Some people like being on a bike. Some people like living next to a train station. Whatever floats your boat. Mine is here. I love being away from people. That's where I find everything that I need. Everything that I need to get strong again, to go back out with people with a big smile on my face. And that's one of the reasons why I want to answer the second part first. Is there a musical avenue you haven't taken down with a Wildheart? Well, when I'm walking around here, I get ideas. And like I said, I don't always agree with the ideas, but I like to work in committee more than... I used to be a bit of a control freak, and now I like to see what else is going on that I couldn't do myself and relinquish control. And exactly the same happens when I'm walking around. And I wouldn't say I'm writing, I'm getting information. And it's going in a really strange way. So the album that we're going to demo in April is already taking this somewhere else that I hadn't bargained on it going. And I won't say too much because I want you to get into the new album and not feel like this is enough for now. But yeah, the music is naturally going somewhere else that's been inspired by my environment. It's really exciting. I'm not sure if you're going to instantly like it, but that's none of my business. It's absolutely none of my business. I'm sure you will learn to love it all, but even I was a little bit taken aback by some of it. So yeah, I'm really excited where this is going. Exactly where it's going, I don't really know. And surely that's the most important thing. And the thing that gets me when people talk about, you know, that we've done 2 singles. People know everything that I'm going to do on 2 singles, 2 Wildheart singles. It hasn't got that Wildheart sound. What the fuck? Answer me this. What the fuck is a Wildheart sound? Is it Mutation? Is it pop rock on The Wildhearts Must Be Destroyed? Is it fucking, you know, ballads? Bad Time Be Having a Bad Time? I've no idea what the Wildheart sound is. All I know is when we started, I used to say in all the interviews I could get, the music's going to change. The first album was supposed to be a garagey, rough. It was even rougher than I'd planned it on being because it was demos. It was demos on used tape. And I said to the record company, as a joke, wouldn't it be great if we just released these demos? And they turned round. Danny Benuto, our A&R man, who we'll talk about loads in the coming podcasts, said, yeah, let's do that. And I wasn't expecting that. So it was even raw and more garagey than I wanted it to be. The second album was supposed to take this more musical. It was supposed to take in bits of Queen and ELO and Cheap Trick's more expansive stuff like Dream Police. But the record company decided they wanted a carbon copy of the first album, which they never were going to get because the first album was a fluke. It was on used tape. It was demos. You were never going to capture that again. So they did to me a substandard version of the first album with the second album, which I have to say destroyed me. It destroyed all my dreams and my goals for the band, and it taught me to just expect the unexpected and expect that the unexpected was going to be, shit. You know, I learned to appreciate having shit in my life, and it started from the decision to make PHUQ a single album and not let us branch out. So, for anyone out there who thinks there is a typical or classic Wildheart sound, you're full of shit. Because I disagree, and I'm the one that fucking calls the shots around here. And from the day one, I wanted this to change sounds. I wanted it to experiment. We could have went anywhere after that second album. We could have went into doing soundtracks, making electric beat music. You know, really loved dance music at the time. And it didn't. It created this illusion that we were a typical rock and roll band, like a bunch of rock and roll bands out there that are fairly typical. I like a lot of them. But if you want a typical rock and roll sound, the Wildhearts is probably the worst band you could possibly follow. Get into someone who makes the same album every time. What you want from me, I don't know. I can only hope that you're going to get it or you're going to come round to my way of thinking. But I ain't going to change, and I definitely ain't going to become a typical rock and roll band for people who have very limited tastes. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going to take this, and I can't wait to see where it goes. And I'm really excited. And for me, that's the standard that everything has to adhere to. Am I excited by it? And I'm really excited about the future of the Wildhearts. And there's another question here that says, what's the difference between recording with this band and the previous lineup? The big difference is people want to get involved in the songs with this lineup. People get involved in the creation. People write a lot of stuff for the band, which is something that the last lineup never did. You know, it was my job. I had to go away and write an album, and then we'd kind of arrange it together, or sometimes we wouldn't arrange it together. Me and Rich would do it. This time, I never have that problem. Now, all I ever wanted was to collaborate in music. I never wanted to be the main writer. I didn't even want to be the fucking singer. I wanted to work with musicians to find out what I was missing, what I could learn. And I'm going to learn so much from this new lot. And apart from, personal differences, the main difference to me is a level of creativity. I couldn't really continue if I didn't have that level of creativity. That's the big difference to me. So yeah, in a long-winded way, that is that question answered. And I assume that we're at the end of this podcast. And I think that, apart from the hiccups, I think that went really well. It went quicker than I thought it was going to, which bodes well for the future, because I have to do lots of these. And I think I'm going to really enjoy them. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that you look forward to the next one as much as I do. And I'll see you next time with more questions. God, it gets quiet when I stop talking, doesn't it?